I don't have a slide. So this is a typical, I mean, I accidentally am highlighting that because I was a panel discussant, so I was going to respond to all the things. So I kind of imagined, you know, when we are in a room, I would be sitting probably together with Anel. So anyway, so I don't have a slide. It's just me and my bookcase in the background. So, and I participated in quite a few workshops myself. This was a wonderful project to be contributing to and engaging with. And I basically had only a few points that I would like to think are complementary. And also some of the points that I would like to highlight as a researcher, but also someone who's teaching research methods and someone who's working a lot with doctoral researchers and early career researchers. So, you know, the drawing by Christine Hein, I could have drawn that myself. I really related a lot with that drawing because that's pretty much my day-to-day life. So one point that I wanted to highlight in response to the presentation by Mel and also a lot of comments in the chat room up to now is that the pandemic hit people disproportionately and especially hit junior researchers. So that's one point that I mean, it's already made, so I'm not making a new point, but I really wanted to highlight that. So, you know, even the question about is it selfish to carry on research, especially if the research is not, you know, essential. Not everybody has that luxury, if you like, to quit or even pause. So some of junior researchers, they just have to carry on, and that really needs. So there were like an emerging body of a study showing that you know, women researchers suddenly they submit less because they have other caring responsibilities, and similar kind of discussions need to be taking place, and it is already taking place. But I just wanted to kind of highlight once again that the pandemic hit researchers differently, and especially junior researchers and academics in precarious circumstances. They are hit unevenly. So that's one point that I wanted to highlight. And another thing that I think hasn't been really helping for this, you know, making research happen and carrying on is that there is this romanticized idea of one method is better than another, and that so people are moving on to into these virtual settings, thinking that it's a compromise. But actually, when we had all the choices, some people actually opted for online interviews, for example, because it gives us different kinds of affordances. But now, because we can't do in person, so we think that suddenly this one is less than actually engaging in the same space. I mean, obviously, it has definite merit of being in the same place with your participants, but that's not. So it's just a relative thing, and we need to make best of what we have at that given moment. But there is still this notion of, oh, but still, meeting is better than Zoom, or, you know, so this whole romanticized notion of almost like a hierarchy of one types of evidence is better than another, or one types of method is better than another. So that's one thing that I think we need to push it back on a little bit. And last point that I would like to make is, it's quite a practical thing that I picked on from my own experience, is that plan B making. I know one point that Emil made earlier, that maybe adapting to new environments and challenges, that's what researchers do all the time. But it's just that now, because it was so pushed forward to the front, perhaps making plan B has to be an integral part of research methods teaching and research education. So that's just something that so at my institution, that we've been always talking about field work assessment, field risk assessment, and making, you know, flexible planning and all of that. We talked about that, but almost theoretically. But now we know that that's actually really crucial. So it has to be really baked into research methods curriculum. So I think, I know maybe it's just me being very positive here, but some chefs, this is just a metaphor that I'm using in the classroom. Some chefs, when they need to cook for someone with a lot of dietary restrictions, I've seen actually celebrity chefs dissing vegetarians, for example, on telly, saying that, oh, you know, there is this great ingredient. If you can't have it, I can't cook for you. So that would be one way of going for it. But another way would be, oh, that's a challenge. Okay, you can't eat all these things, but I will still make a great dish. Challenge accepted. So that's kind of a, I don't know, I'm just trying to put a positive spin on this very, very dark situation. So that's just the one metaphor that I share with the students, and I would like to end my 5 minutes on that note.